If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or any cheap PC games, use the referral link in the description. It will take you over to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods, and if you use the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again and welcome to episode 6 of the Valencia career mode here on FIFA 16. We've spent our money, we've assembled the side the way we want it for now, and it's time to crack on with the season outside of the transfer window. We're doing a little bit of training in the background, as you can see. Nice little bit of growth from Alcacer and from De Paul, so hopefully we've got actually quite a nice young squad, so fingers crossed everybody can grow throughout the entirety of this series, and by the end of it we'll have a really, well-beating side, hopefully. That's the plan at least. I guess that's the plan with any career mode though, I suppose. But Sporting Gijón are the initial opponents here. Alan Halilovic on loan at Sporting Gijón at Cam there in their 4-2-3-1. Obviously the youngster from Barcelona who does grow quite nicely in career mode. I don't know what his reputation is like in real life, but I know that on FIFA he's highly sought after by a lot of people in the comment section of career modes, etc., because he does grow quite nicely. We're still continuing on with the 4-3-3 with the 2 CDMs for now. This is a different recording session from the previous couple of episodes, so I was hoping that maybe just, a fresh approach and a fresh recording session could mean that I could actually get on with this formation. We'll see how it goes. But after 2 minutes, we had the first chance, and it was well blocked by the defender. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get anything from it. But Rodrigo's tireless work gets the ball back here. Paco pushes through. Really nice run, actually. Doesn't have the most amount of pace in those legs, but he's quick enough to get away or to hold his own against defenders. And had a decent shot there on his left foot, unfortunately, though well saved, or comfortably saved by the goalkeeper. Andre Gomez sprays this out wide to Hugo Mayo, pushing forward from right back. Thiago Alcantara with his first chance of the game. Bursts past a couple of players. Unfortunately, the finish is left a little bit wanting. Tries to slide on the end of it. He's left-footed, Thiago, and slid in with his right, and sadly it wasn't good enough to draw the save out of the goalkeeper or, cause him any sort of problems whatsoever. I have absolutely no idea what sort of touch that was from Mustafi that set up the move for Sporting there. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. At the beginning of the second half, though, I decided that things weren't, despite having a few chances, decided that things weren't necessarily flowing the way that I wanted them to still with the 4-2-1-3. So I switched to the 4-1-2-3 with this 1 CDM and 2 centre mids for the second half, and we'll see if that actually livens things up at all. We get a free kick here, 23 yards out, 10 minutes into the second half. You already know what's coming. Danny Parejo's set pieces are out of this world. The keeper stood absolutely no chance with that. A simple finish for a guy that is proving to be well worth his weight in gold so far in this particular series. Our most creative player so far. I think the most goals of the series to this point in competitive and obviously pre-season as well from Danny Parejo. So clearly well worth keeping hold of him, and we'll try and extend the lead if we can. Enzo Perez being involved. He scored a few goals for us in the season and series so far. It's Sofian Faguli, whose future at the club is in question. We weren't able to move him on in the transfer window. He is available for a pre-contract in January, so I'm going to hopefully have the best of possible seasons between now and, say, the middle of December, and then try and twist his arm and get him to sign an extension. If not, I may try and cheat the system almost and use him as make weight in a deal to bring in a replacement, because obviously we won't be able to get cash for him if he doesn't sign a contract, because someone will probably sign him on a pre-contract. So if we can kind of try and cheat the system and get him to be used as make weight for another deal before someone signs him on a pre-contract, then that would be the best thing to do. Well, the best thing to do would be to get him to sign a contract, but I can't guarantee that, obviously. We start in the Champions League in today's episode as well, though. PSV starting with a similar formation to us, the 4-1-2-3, or it's just basically a variation of the 4-3-3 with 1 holding mid and 2 centre mids. Ours is similar, but a slightly different layout. I think my middle midfield 3 are a little bit more spaced out and a little bit deeper, like the CDM sat a little bit deeper than in the PSV lineup. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Andrés Guardado is a very, very good midfielder to play in that middle for them. Lestien scored a couple of good goals in the My Player series. We played PSV actually in the My Player series at the weekend, and were able to get a 0-0 draw in the rain as well, which is weird considering we're playing away from home against PSV again, and it's in the rain. Unfortunately though, we go 1-0 down after a few moments. Luke de Jong with a really good header actually to get it into the back of the net. Javi Fuego though with a good turn there. Shot though unfortunately straight at Zouk, the goalkeeper. We were playing a bit of a rotation side here. It wasn't my strongest 11 by any stretch, considering the short time short time frame involved between the previous game and this one, but still should be strong enough to see off a side like PSV. Lestien, though, like we mentioned in the My Player series, scored 2 goals against Lokomotiv Moscow, and they didn't really do anything against us at Everton, but here was being their most creative force. How Luciano Narsing didn't make that 2-0 there, I've no idea whatsoever. He just somehow managed to hit the bar from 3 yards, which is still better than what Benteke did the other day, putting it over from 3 yards, but never mind. Alvaro Negredo with a header there with 20 minutes to go. Unfortunately, nothing came from that either. Poor attempt, and it went well high and wide over the bar. So we made a couple of changes. Rodrigo de Paul and Andre Gomez, I think it was, coming on. Pablo Piatti on the left-hand side, taking the throw in into Orban, into Danilo, who actually has been rock solid for me at CDM. I'm really enjoying playing with him, the loanee from, I'm actually not too sure where he's on loan from. I'll have to check, but he's been so very good for me in that CDM role. So he may even be drafted into the first team sooner rather than later. His performances have been that good, despite only being 77 rated, and the rest of my midfielders being around about 80. He's just been performing much better. So rather than pick on rating, I'll pick on performance. And unfortunately, if we were to pick on performance and Zoot was our player, he'd be starting a goal for me every week at this rate, because unfortunately, he kept us out for the entirety of that game, so we don't get off to the best of starts in the Champions League. A 1-0 defeat away from home against PSV, which, considering Lazio and Manchester City are the other two sides in the group, isn't the best. Man City beat Lazio by 1-0 as well, though, so the group is still pretty close, both points-wise and goal difference-wise. Man City didn't get like a massive win to give them a real head start, so there's still plenty of time to turn that around, of course. 5 games left in the group stage, and I'm confident enough in my own ability and my players' ability to be able to turn that around and get ourselves a progression through to the knockout stages. The board want us to reach the semi-final of the Champions League, which, like I said at the beginning of the series, I think is a little bit ambitious, a little bit overly ambitious, not necessarily too realistic an expectation there, but I'd be quite happy if we reached around the 16 or the quarter-finals. But semi-finals, I think, would be a step too far for this Valencia side as things are right now. But who knows how we're going to grow throughout the season. As you can see from the squad report on your screen, there's been a little bit of growth throughout quite a few players. If there's anyone in particular you want to have a closer look at, then feel free to pause the video at any point and have a closer look at those individual stats. But again, haven't changed the formation there on the screen, but I am going to switch to the 4-1-2-3 rather than the 4-2-1-3. I may even give the 4-2-1-3 with the 2 centre mids and the 1 cam with the 3 up front a chance, because that's more similar to perhaps a 4-2-3-1, but I'm not sure whether it's going to be a little bit too offensive and leave me a little bit too open at the back, because I do like to have at least one holding midfielder in the middle for me. So it's just a case of testing things out here in the opening few weeks of this season, and things are still going well enough for us in the league that we can afford to test things out. We're 5th after 3 games. Barcelona a joint level on points with us on 7. It's only Celta Vigo that actually have a maximum points record after 3 games. Real have lost a game. Ourselves and Barcelona have drawn a game, and there are loads of teams there on 7 points. So it's going to be an interesting season here in La Liga. Celta in real life had a very good start to this season this year, but have kind of fallen to the wayside in recent weeks, and maybe they're going to do the same here in this series on FIFA as well. But that's going to be all for today's episode. Feel free to drop the video a like if you enjoyed, of course, and subscribe if you haven't already. Now we're out of the transfer window, and it isn't a Monday from here on out. We'll have 3 games per episode again, and hopefully we can start to pick up some points both domestically and in Europe, and then the Copa del Rey starts in about a month's time, so we'll see how we get on in domestic cup competitions as well. But for now, check all the links on your screen and in the description to my Instagram, to my Twitter, to my Facebook, etc., and to the Twitch where I'll be streaming tonight, and obviously to the No Identity merchandise store as well if you'd like to pick yourself up a t-shirt in time for Christmas. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.